Good evening and welcome everyone. Tonight we are casting some Spy Party Competitive League Season 5, and we have a Week 13 Copper Division match between Alexare and Quicklime. This is my co-caster tonight, Spedmonkey.
Good evening, everybody.
And the season is winding to a close. As some of you may know, SCL lasts 13 weeks, and this is a Week 13 match. For many of the competitors, they're currently in the middle of their climactic matches, determining who will make first place in the division or who will make second and third place and enter the tournament of placement. But for these two players, the stakes are a little bit different. Let's take a look at the standings over in Copper Division. Spedmonkey, can you let us know the situation with our two competitors tonight?
Of course. So, unfortunately, both of these players are out of contention this season, at least for the tournament of position. But Copper does have a bunch of players who are all kind of clumped up in the standings right there in the middle, which is thanks in part to the forfeits this season. But that means that there's a lot of potential for add-in promotions, even for those not necessarily in the tournament of position, due to all these drops both here and in the higher divisions. So, in fact, these players do have something to play for here, even though we are winding down, because where you stand in the final here could be the difference between moving up to bronze or staying in copper.
Yeah, and it looks like these players' score lines are very similar at the moment. Alexare with a score of 12 currently, Quicklime with a score of 11. For Quicklime, that's 2 wins, 5 losses. For Alexare, it's 1 win, 2 losses, and a whole lot of draws.
Yes, but as you'll see, this is Quicklime's last game of the season, while Alexare has one more to play after this, who will be against Human Kirby, with whom he's currently tied, as you can see there. And if Alexare can actually win these last two matches, he'll be tied with Kmars. And I'm not sure how the tie breakers will work out since they tied in their very first match of the season. But he'll be tied for fifth place, which is very respectable.
Yeah, the top 4 of Copper have really been the dominating forces of the season, and Kmars has been very close behind. And if Alexare is able to tie a finish in 5th place, that will be a pretty impressive result. And if Quicklime wins, he'll be up at 13 points, which is also fairly respectable. It's sort of a, even spread of wins and losses.
Absolutely. Given that both of these players came from Challenger last season, for Quicklime the last two seasons, I mean, Copper is a pretty big jump, and the fact that they're still doing okay is impressive in and of itself.
Yeah, and let's take a look at these players' stats. What do you think is the most noteworthy for Alexare?
So for Alexare, I find it, he's very consistent with his spy. He has exactly a 50% win rate this season. But if you look at closely at the stats, you'll see that they all point to a singular sort of theme. His mission wins are lower than average. His average timeout rate is higher. The rate of being shot as a spy is lower, and the civ shots is much higher. So if you look at that, it all suggests that he really loves the frame and really isn't afford to force a sniper at the end of the game to either take a 50-50 shot or really hold his shot.
Yeah, meanwhile, for Quicklime, we have a sort of different situation. If you look at Quicklime, the amount of timeouts as Spy, this is all seasons I have open, but this season it's a 21% timeout rate as Spy, and a lot of those are from the larger venues. On the 3 of 5s, he's only timed out, I believe, 3 times this season. But on the larger venues, that's where most of this stat is coming from. Do you think we're gonna be seeing some pacing issues tonight?
It's entirely possible, especially depending on how the draft goes. Both these players do like to pick a mix, so it really could come down to just how each player feels tonight going into the draft.
Yeah, what are you predicting for the draft? The players are in the draft room and we're just waiting for them to make the picks. Do you think you can predict some of them before they pick them?
Well, Alexare has banned Tay in every single match this season, so I feel fairly confident in suggesting that that's going to happen here as well. Quicklime, meanwhile, has banned a mix of maps, but Aquarium he's banned the most, and none of the other bans that he has banned are maps that Alexare likes to play. So I would feel fairly confident in picking Aquarium as well as a ban. And then looking at the rest of it, I would expect to see something like Gallery Ballroom from Alexare, and Courtyard, and then maybe either Pub or High Rise from Quicklime. Um, just based on the way their picks have gone this season, and some went back into the previous seasons.
Yeah, it seems like both of these players like Courtyard quite a bit. It's a common pick for both of them. And if we compare the stats here, Alexare has a pretty low spy win on Courtyard. A lot of people would call it sniper favorite, so that's not too surprising to see. Whereas Quicklime's is also slightly below 50%, but they both seem to do about the same on Courtyard, so it could be a really interesting matchup.
Absolutely. And Quicklime actually has a 60% win rate as Spy, as you said, on a sniper favored map. So we could be seeing some shenanigans coming out tonight if they do go with Courtyard.
And it looks like the bans are exactly like you predicted. The first ban from Alexare is Taen, and the ban from Quicklime is Aquarium.
Yeah, I mean, that just makes a lot of sense. Clearly, neither player is comfortable in the new venues, so
And Quicklime is going with a high rise for his double pick.
that is interesting. I mean, High Rise has been his most common pick this season, but he does have a below 50% win rate on both Spy and Sniper over a fairly sizable sample size.
And Alexare is going with what is definitely their favorite map, Gallery.
That track.
I
Although with that said, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, we just have they're drafting faster than we can keep up with. So Quicklime's second pick. Not surprised to see this one. We have Courtyard, and we're going to get to see them duke it out there. And Alexare following it up with their second most commonly picked map, Ballroom.
Yep, so that's exactly what we expected to see, and it should be a good match. I mean, they're both clearly picking matchups that they're comfortable on. It should be a good one.
And we do have the players in game now, just selecting their missions on High Rise. Alexare is our first spy, and they seem to like to cross out every single mission and then pick the 5 they want. It's understandable. I get sometimes confused if I'm just trying to remove the one that I don't want and find the one I want.
Likewise, absolutely. Interesting note, though. Even though both of these players played in Challenger last season, this is the first time they've ever actually met in SCL.
Interesting, and I believe Quicklime is sort of a veteran. I think Quicklime's been around even longer than Challenger 4.
Yeah, Quicklime played in Season 3 as well, and actually did fairly well.
So I'm just taking a look at the stats for High Rise from Quicklime. It's very similar win rates as both roles, 43% Spy, 45% Sniper. Whereas Alexare only has a 33% Spy win rate on High Rise, but it's a very low sample size. They don't play High Rise a lot, which doesn't necessarily help their case either if they're not used to playing it.
Absolutely. And this season, Alexare has only played 2 games, but 100% win rate as Sniper, 0% win rate as.
Yeah, it looks like Quicklime was just trying to find where they could get an advantage, and High Rise seems to really be Alexare's least played map out of almost anything. A lot of other venues, they have at least a dozen or even more games on. High Rise is one of the few that Alexare just doesn't play. The only one lower than it is Aquarium, but that's because it's new.
But with that said, I mean, both of these players are fairly experienced, both in SCL and just as far as game count overall. So it wouldn't be best to see Alexare being caught completely off guard and have no plan on how to play High Rise.
And the players are just confirming with us that they are ready and about to start. Looks like players synchronizing. And we have the first game ready to go. Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Off the bat with Small Man. Looks like we're just going to go sit in this conversation circle to start with.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how much small man advantage there is on High Rise. It's not like you're going to be super hidden for most of it, but when it comes to this back conversation circle, maybe opportunities to bug the ambassador, you could have some good ones.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we all know, this is not Taiyan or something like that, or even Gallery, but there is still some inclusion with these two conversation circles back to back like that.
Yeah, unfortunately the Ambassador is not very buggable right now. The seduction target was off at statues, but now she's going to join us. It would be great if she entered our conversation, but it's alright. Oh no, she's at the bookshelf now. The question is Alexare going to want to go there?
And it seems like he is. Unfortunately, this being, oh, we're going for the briefcase instead. But this being a 3-5 map, we still have plenty of time to get things done.
Yeah, a nice stop for the briefcase. I don't know if that's exactly where you would stop when returning it, but it looks good. We could have joined Sari in that conversation, but she left and we didn't join her. She's moving around a lot. It might start to be kind of hard to do the flirt at this point. We've already spent a minute.
But with no fingerprint on this venue, going for that briefcase may have thrown us.
Yeah, it's a very interesting decision. I mean, I thought he was going to go for the flirt at the bookcase, but it looks like fingerprints are indeed off. The purloin is on instead, and that's another mission that Smallman's not really the greatest at. It's sort of one of his only weaknesses, because it's very noticeable when Toby has to bend down to offer you that drink.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, stepping the center statues, we've thrown away all of that goodwill from the briefcase by going center statues and picking up the highlight, while Sari just kind of did a 360 spin and came back to the same statue, earning her.
Yeah, she's spending a lot of time outside of conversation circle. I believe she was only in a conversation for just a moment, really. And I'm really worried about us getting the flirt done now. We need 2 more in a minute and a half. She's all the way across from us. You can't reposition yourself here. It would look way too spy-like.
Absolutely, and even worse, I mean, as far as we can tell from the highlights, we are one of 2 suspects.
And Sari did leave at least, so that means the timer's going to be reset. We can enter next to her now, but we're still going to need a green if we can finish it. Ambassador looks like they're in a spot where we could get a bug, but here's the banana bread.
Which is not bad, although...
Oh! Looks like it doesn't matter if we're going to be able to finish the flirt. Duke gets shot. Duke wasn't even a highlight, which I presume means he didn't go to statues, and so I'm really not sure what that shot is for.
I assume there must have been the bug credited.
That's got to be it. Let me know when the next game is ready, but until then, I can see if Duke did a bug. Looks like the next game is ready then, so we'll just move on. We won't be sure about why Duke got shot there, but it really has to be a bug if he didn't have inspect and the purloin wasn't gone. I mean, that's how it works when you have purloin on instead of fingerprints. It's a lot easier for the sniper to know if a spy has completed or not, because if the list is still there and you don't think anyone has bugged, the only reason you need to take a shot is if you think it's on, one of the statue visitors who's finished. We have the next game ready in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, we're just stepping in with AI control as Boots here. But yeah, I mean, that last game, as far as we could tell, there was no suspicion on Duke whatsoever until the shot came. But we're just sitting here outside at the time ad window, taking an innocent sip and moving back towards the conversation circle. But our seduction target decides to leave, so we are kind of just stuck here with the double agent.
Yeah, and I do wonder what's going through Quicklime's head right now. High Rise is definitely one of the more balanced maps in terms of sniper versus spy, but it still doesn't feel good to let the first sniper win of the set go, especially on someone who, at least from what we can tell, didn't really do anything. Quicklime might have been kicking themselves over that shot.
And especially given that this was Quicklime's venue choice. That never feels good either, to lose the first match, the first game of a match on your own.
And look at that, we just hit a difficult fingerprint from that drink. That's really good for us. Inspects are not on this time, worth noting. We have purloin and fingerprints.
Yep, and the seduction target comes right to us, and we get a green across the circle, keeping a 3 flirt still in very good, well, much in.
Look at how full these conversations are. Seek is out, but it was the perfect time for Banana Bread, really only giving up one low light. I guess Rocker probably left as well, but both SDAs in. This is a pretty good contact for High Rise, and it's going to keep Alexare on edge.
Yeah, and we still have 2 minutes 15 seconds to get one more fingerprint and finish our flirt.
Yeah, the only problem is that inspects are not on as a mission, and I do think that makes it easier for the sniper to track who may or may not be finished.
That's true, but on the other hand, the ambassador is moving around quite a bit. And presumably she will be leaving the briefcase. Yep, there it is, right for us. So we can pick that up, or we can rely on someone else to pick it up as well and get some suspicion.
I think it'll be really hard for Alexare to win this unless they've credited Boots with the difficult fingerprint there. We'll see if a shot comes off for this briefcase, and if not, we're probably going to be able to get away with that last flirt. We didn't even try to return it. It might have been correct to take a step or two, but Quicklime doesn't even risk it, and I don't think Alexare is going to be judging too much that briefcase return.
Nope. I mean, Alice was at books behind the screen, so Alexare probably couldn't even see exactly what she was doing at the time. So that probably looked.
Yeah, briefcase is very non-intuitive sometimes, and unless you're really sure about it, you wouldn't even take a shot for it. And there's the last flirt, there's the mission wing countdown, and there's no way Alexare is going to shoot for this. I'm assigning the point to Quicklime.
No reaction. We move on. 2-0.
Yeah, there's really not much to say about that one. It was a difficult drink print on High Rise. It's quite possibly the hardest print for the sniper to track, and I'm not surprised that it did not get tracked.
Did I say 2-0? I mean 1-1. Excuse me.
And we have the next game open in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Starting here as Kane, we're more taking control fairly quickly and just going to a window pad before we kind of scope out the party and figure out what to do next. We're stepping in here next to the seduction target at statues. We do have inspects on this game.
Yeah, we do. The fingerprints are still off, though. The purloin is on. And like I said, that's going to give us the situation where the sniper can be a lot more sure about if someone is finished or not. I don't know if picking up the early statue highlight is really what you want on any map, but especially this one. But with the seduction target there, I guess it was too appealing for Alexare to pass up on.
That's true. And now just the question is, well, partially, how good Quicklime is at tracking mission counts and how much help we're going to get from the party.
It would be really great if Teal entered next to us. Oh my god, Teal's going back to the same statue that she was just at earlier. Against some snipers, that would be a low light. And if Quicklime is noticing it, even if he doesn't low light for it, it's probably lowering Teal's suspicion level quite a bit.
Yeah, that's probably true. And unfortunately, the rest of the party is pretty stationary right now. You have Small Man over next to the Ambassador. And there's not really much threat of bugging.
No, he curved around the Ambassador there, Smallman, but it's just, you could tell that he didn't bug. Now he's going for a briefcase. The only thing in Alexare's favor is that they did go for that briefcase in the first game, and it did look like Quicklime was watching the replay a little bit. So Quicklime at least knows, hey, I can't just lowlight everyone who's getting the briefcase even if fingerprints are off, because Alexare will do it to lose suspicion.
Yep, that's right. And we're sitting here with just under 2 minutes left. We're halfway through our seduce, and we still need to find a third mission as well, whether that be a contact, a purloin, or try and find a bug somewhere.
Yeah, getting your first seduce with your seduction target at statues is very appealing. It's a good way to get 2 mission progress at once, but if you're at all worried about the sniper remembering that pair, you're not going to want to chase them. And so we've been in this conversation the whole time. Teal has come to us, but we're getting this far flirt. There was a bug. That was the wrong arm, and by that I mean the one very visible to the sniper. Probably not the arm that Alexare wanted. Let's take a look at that.
Clearly it was seen.
Oh yeah, that's not the arm you wanted. It was a wrong arm bug in the truest sense of the word.
Yep, you hate to see it.
And with that, Quicklime is up 2-1, and we're starting our next game in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yep, we're starting here as Mom, depending on whom you speak to. We're still staying on AI control as we go to the blue bookcase here. And Quicklime must be feeling pretty good about this, having lost the first game, but picking up 2 in a row, again, on his map choice.
Yeah,
And we still have AI control on.
We do, and so we're back to Quicklime's mission setup, which is the inspects being off. So the main softel here are the fingerprints. Quicklime got to hope that some of the AIs complete that if he's not planning to. We tried to chase the flirt target over at the painting, but she'd already been there for a while. Not really a big risk, but I always kind of think, were you really expecting to get that before she left, whenever that happens?
Yep, but we chased her into the circle and hit a close green for 51%, which always feels...
We are taking, I believe it's an innocent drink, unless I get surprised with a... Oh, no, wait, that was Alice taking the drink. My god, I'm so sorry. I forgot who we were.
I do that constantly, when I'm the sniper especially.
And Alice picking up a highlight. My god, Alice went to the statue pad with the briefcase. That looked so weird, but it was definitely justified since she's an AI and the ambassador was on the other side.
Yep, and then just standing basically inside the ambassador to return.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Alexare's gonna shoot Alice at some point, and we'll know why.
Yeah, you have to think that Alice is currently top suspect. Meanwhile, as Quicklime, we haven't gotten any more mission progress done, but we've been watching Alice do all sorts of things, which, if we are going to go for a frame, then we got to feel pretty good about that right now.
Yeah, and there's Boots doing center statues. You're really wishing the inspects were on right now because she would be a huge suspect.
Yeah, but compared to the last party especially, where Alexare was getting basically no help, Quicklime is getting a ton of help from the cast here. Especially on a map like High Rise, where a lot really depends on the rest of the AI doing things.
Yeah, it looks like they're moving around. A lot of people in the party doing things, a lot of potential bug opportunities, as the ambassador was never in a safe position. The question is, does Alexare have any major suspects right now? We are picking up 2 fingerprintable statues in a row. Bold move, very bold move. Let's see if Alexare is on top of this.
And we eat the highlight as soon as we picked up the first one, so Alexare knows something is up.
We got very close to Alice here. We didn't need to do that. We only needed 15% more. If there was any flirt pairing happening, that would just seal your fate.
But this could be it right here. We have the double, we got our seduces done. The question is really, what happens when the banana bread goes up?
Nothing. No banana bread even needed. Alexare was so on top of those prints, and apparently was on top of the flirt pairing too. I don't know of the exact timing, but it looked like waited about 10 seconds after we started talking and took the shot.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Just being completely on top of it, even with Alice being as suspicious as she was.
Yeah, that move of going from statue to statue when they both had fingerprints on it was very cheeky, but it looks like Alexare was just massively suspicious of it, and rightly so. And with that, it's a 2-2 tie as we move into gallery, and I'm not surprised. This seems like 2 players of very, very even skill level. Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We're starting our first gallery match here on Seek, taking control very quickly and heading outside. Or not, we'll just wait at the pad, see what happens with our seduction target, who bounces quite a bit.
Yeah, gallery is a map where you always have to make an immediate choice of, are you going to go outside or go to the back conversation circle? Because if you make the wrong one, you can waste so much time moving around. And it looks like the seduction target just wasn't available. They were at statues, and you need to start making some progress. And we're getting a very quick first fingerprint off this bookcase. The briefcase was still there.
Yeah, this could, in theory, be a very quick fingerprint completed. Oh, but we're beat to it by Teal. But we move away. That looked very good.
It did look good. We took a path into the conversation. Everything looking okay for Alexare there. I was just going to say, I always like to at least go for the fingerprint after the briefcase is gone, but there's a purloin. It's very visible, but no reaction.
Don't know. Yeah, we still haven't seen any reaction whatsoever, lights or anything.
Did Quicklime not see it? Were they checking the Ambassador instead? The Ambassador was sort of in a dangerous position there, but no lowlights coming off at all. Quicklime might just be seeing the list now.
Yeah, but even so, still no reaction. So either Quicklime has a suspect very firmly in mind, or they've just given up and just have no idea what happened. They just have to give it away for free.
No, it looked like there might finally be some highlights coming off, but there isn't. The sniper movement indicates to me that Quicklime still has things that they're looking for. You know, sometimes if there's no reaction, no lights, it's because they know exactly which one person they think it is, or one or two, and they're not even going to waste time highlighting or lowlighting anyone because they're just watching those two people. But these sniper movements indicate to me that Quicklime doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think the fact that there was really, again, no reaction, even though Toby flashed us the tray, basically right in the line of our scope.
Ooh, that's a bug path. I had the sniper cam open, but even I could tell it was a bug path. There was no arm visible, though. We do finally pick up a highlight for it. And now the question is, how strong is that highlight? How much does Quicklime suspect that bug path if they have no idea who did the purloin?
Well, we're starting to get some lowlights now. Our seduction target eats a lowlight, potentially just from not having done much.
Yeah, we went for another difficult fingerprint on the green bookshelf, and I think that was a good move. There was no reason with a minute and a half left not to go for a difficult fingerprint and see if you get it, but now we really need to finish this flirt, and we're going to become the third at bookshelves to do it. Wee woo, wee woo.
Yep, absolutely. But we are here with our seduction target, who I thought was Twin earlier, which is why I said he was low lit. But no, actually, being Wheels, who is high lit there as part of our threesome at the bookshelf.
We got the flirt. Oh no, are we just trying to move this book? That's dangerous. That is so dangerous, but there's no immediate shot for it, which means it looks like we're going to get away with it. Quicklime was just focused elsewhere. Oh no, the shot coming off. Quicklime was very delayed in noticing that. That was the sort of thing that if you saw it when it was happening, you would take the shot. There'd be no question about it. But it looks like Quicklime just noticed it late, but still had time to take the shot.
Yeah, it might have just been a situation where he was thinking, is that really what I just saw? Yeah, must have been. Okay.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate for Alexare. They could have had that one. They got away with a purloin, what looked like very, very clean. And they just unfortunately weren't able to get the second fingerprint they needed. If they'd hit that difficult one, they would have won. We're starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We're stepping in here now as Duke, taking control fairly quickly and heading just innocently into the back conversation circle. The selection target comes right to us, which is very handy. We'll take the free seduce and see what happens.
The ambassador is here. They're leaving the briefcase for us. Are we going to do an early purloin? Yes, we are, and it's a green test.
And now we see what the reject.
Rocker went for the briefcase instead. There's a lot of things for the sniper to be watching right now rather than this reject chain, which is ongoing. Tex rejected as well. Is Taft going to be the one to take the list? The answer is yes. Let's look up for this reaction from Alexare. The list is gone. It's very, very visible. Low lights coming off on everyone outside. Oh no, just frantic sniper movement.
But it doesn't seem like he was on top of what happened.
I mean, look at this. Quicklime went back into the same conversation, the same spot that he was at when the purloin happened. Or, well, maybe he was just there the whole time. So we are nearby. We could get highlight for it, but it's just sort of the same thing. The first thing that Alexare did after the purloin was noticeably gone was, like, swing the laser outside. I thought he was going to take lowlights, but he didn't. Really no lowlights at all. And I'm really not sure how on top of this Alexare is.
Banana bread.
And now we get the banana bread to further compound this confusion. Let's see how on top of it he is with the lowlights here.
That was a risky banana bread. There were only like 4 people in the conversation with us. Luckily, the SDA was in the conversation outside, which was pretty full, but if they hadn't been, my god, you would have narrowed it down to maybe only 3 or 4 people with real BB in the whole party.
Yeah, and depending on how on top of the purloin Alexare actually is, we could really be one of maybe 2 or 3 suspects.
But it does look like Quicklime is getting away with it. We're even going in for a fingerprint now, and there's not even a highlight for it. Being watched for microfilm, but to me that doesn't indicate that we're a huge suspect. And in fact, this party doesn't seem very narrowed down at all, considering a purloin has gone off. Alexare probably not feeling very good about the state of this game.
Yeah, and that was a difficult fingerprint too, so there's a very good chance that we got away with that completely clean.
And I'm just seeing so much activity at statues. It's probably taking a lot from Alexare not to be shooting people. Did Queen just go from statues to statues?
I wasn't following, but given the way that this party is possible,
But Quicklime really needs another flirt now. Where is that ST gonna land? In conversation, and Quicklime is chasing after it. We need to hit that flirt, and then same as last game. Ooh, that looked like a bug attempt. Bumping into the ambassador, but Alice just gets shot. We would have needed to just get one more flirt with Teal. She was in conversation there, right behind us, so it wouldn't have been insanely difficult. But we were gonna have to hope for another fingerprint, and luckily a purloin like that, where the sniper has no idea who did it, just induces shots a lot earlier, and it looks like there was just some uncertainty about what Alice was doing. She could have been getting a fingerprint there. Not really, though. The ambassador hadn't been there for quite a while, so I'm not really sure why she needed to get shot at that moment, unless you were nervous and thought her head turn was a microfilm. We have the next game starting up in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
we're back to well as sequence. Just keeping the AI control on, heading back into the party from outside, and let's see where we land. We finally take the AI control off as the ambassador passes by us, but we don't take the reverse drive by it. And it looks like we're just going to follow Sari, our selection target, into the conversation circle and start off with a flirt.
And Quicklime is now up 2-0 on Gallery, unless I've miscalculated one of the scores. And this is Alexare's #1 most comfortable pick. So Alexare's probably not feeling great right now.
No, like we were talking about on High Rise, I mean, losing 1 or 2 games on your own pick, especially to start it off, it's always a terrible feeling.
Highlight coming off on Queen for just a moment, and then it disappears. Not sure what Quicklime is thinking there. You know, Quicklime did lose that first game on High Rise as sniper by shooting Duke, who, you know, seemingly hadn't done anything. So Alexare's best hope might just be that, you know, whatever Quicklime was seeing in Queen, or apparently sees in some AI, that they take a Civ shot again. But Quicklime's probably feeling pretty good right now about their sniper play. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing any nervous shots from them.
Yes, and it seems like Quicklime is guarding the purloin much more carefully this game than they did last game.
Even at the expense of the ambassador. It looked like the ambassador was outside for quite a while there, but Quicklime was staying zoomed in, making sure no one could purloin. We are adding time, which is probably a good move considering it had been a minute and a half and all we had was flirt progress.
And it was completely unnoticed too. As the time ad went off, we got a highlight on Hare, who is clearly not anywhere near a time ad window. So it looks like we got away cleanly with that.
No, I mean, these players have been teaching you that you need to keep your eye on Toby at the back of this venue at all times. And if the ambassador's not outside and Toby is all the way at the back, it just makes a lot of sense that the sniper is going to be zoomed in and they are not going to be watching for time ads. We're taking the book from blue. I thought we were going to immediately put it in green, but we're entering conversation instead.
Yes, but it seems like the plan here must be to dump it back in at some point in not too long, because even with the time ad, we're kind of running low on time. I mean, Gallery is a difficult map to finish on, and all we have right now is not even a full subdue.
Yeah, we got it up to 92%. That's not bad. You have 2 minutes left. You're probably going to be able to get another flirt opportunity. The problem is what it does to your pacing. At some point, you're going to have to return to conversation. There's a bug. Zooming in on the list, though, so I don't think that bug was even suspected or possibly noticed. It looked like we were zooming into track seek, but it wasn't. The list was there instead.
No, and that was 2 missions done in, the space of 5 seconds.
Yeah, and
And
I
suddenly
wonder. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, suddenly we're in great shape actually heading into the last minute of this game.
Yeah, that was a tragic, tragic zoom in. Like, we zoomed in on us right while we were returning a book wrongly and bugging at the same time, but the zoom wasn't for us, it was for the tray, and so we were completely unseen doing two missions, two hard tells at once.
And speaking of the tray, we have a fake BB here,
I'm having some
and
lag issues in game, but I am still connected, right? Are you seeing anything?
I'm also got buffering, but I can tell you, spoilers, that in the next half a second, a shot comes off on us. Yep, here we are.
Oh
I'm back.
my! Well, there we go. Yeah, I came back just in time to see that shot. It looks like there was more suspicion on us than I thought for the bug or the microfilm. Some snipers, they only highlight for statues, so we didn't get a highlight for that stuff being on screen, but it was seen. I was wrong about it being undetected. And we've moved on into the next game, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yep, this time we're starting as Hare or Oprah. Still have AI control on as we head towards the outside. And Quicklime has taken all three so far of the gallery games.
Yeah, and I honestly think it was just a little bit unlucky for Alexare that we got zoomed in on there, because I do think I was correct that Quicklime was zooming in on the guest list at the time to watch that, and it just so happened that we did two hardtells at the same time. And Alexare probably thought he got away with it. I mean, when you do two hardtells like that and you don't get shot, you think you're going to win, and I thought Alexare was going to win, and as soon as the banana bread came off, Quicklime apparently proved to us that we were wrong. Can we get this case? Yes, because Tex sipped instead of picking it up.
Yeah, so we'll take the free fingerprint, just put it right back down, because the Ambassador is that blue bookshelf. And it looks like we're going to head back towards the back conversation circle, where our seduction target just bails on us.
Yeah, I don't know my briefcase etiquette perfectly, but we were very far. I think we could have chased a little bit before stopping, but it doesn't look like either of these snipers care too much about that. That was a reverse drive-by opportunity, but it was not taken.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at the sniper cam there. I'm not sure how much would have possibly been seen, because Boots hadn't moved into place yet to cover our arm.
And the Ambassador's leaving another print at blue. We're leaving to get the flirt with Smallman, but we weren't there in time. I don't think we can stay at this painting pad forever, but I wonder if Quicklime is going to wait. Oh, the Ambassador took the book, so we're not going to be able to get that print right away. Instead, we're going to the green bookcase. We don't have a lot of mission progress for a minute and a half in, just one fingerprint.
No, so instead we're going to go for the microfilm transfer, the action test. We hit the green.
That's really good. I mean, a head turn could have been visible, but anything with the arms there was completely blocked.
Yep, right over there at the edge of the green bookshelf. It's the best spot in gallery for doing a microfilm transfer.
There's Smallman. Go back to the green shelf. No? Against some snipers, if you go back to a shelf a second time for what seems like no reason, you can maybe lose some suspicion. But instead, we are getting our inspects, and that feels like Quicklime just knew that they didn't have enough progress at this point. Especially because, going for another microfilm is going to take quite a bit of time, and you just need to get another mission done, and inspect is just the easiest one you can do.
Yeah, especially if your seduction target is otherwise occupied and the double agent is kind of hanging out. But going back to what you said a moment ago, neither of these snipers have really been focusing very much at all on behavioral stuff.
No, but here we are going to do the second half of the microfilm as a highlight with no cover. We do get a difficult fingerprint. That's very nice. Here's the cover. Now's your best chance, but no, not really. That wasn't a lot of cover, and Quicklime knew it. Leaving with the book. It's way too late for flirts. I think you need to get this microfilm done, get a time ad, probably right before the clock hits 30. That's what Quicklime is going to do.
But no, it just goes right for the action test. And we don't really have time for this. We only have... There's really no way we can finish unless we find a miracle bug or something here.
No, and the Ambassador's right outside, so you know the sniper is zoomed out. Now they're inside, now you do the microfilm. Ooh, it was on screen! And Alexare looked like they thought they saw it. They just weren't sure. And they have time to figure it out, and Quicklime's not even going to finish. Oh, there's a bug. Alexare all over it.
If the desperation bug does not work out, and it's very clear on screen.
Yeah, I really think a time ad was the best solution there, because otherwise what were you going to do? You needed to go put the book back, Maybe go finish the inspect, maybe swap, maybe bug. There just wasn't enough time. And, it was sort of like a very low percent play to try and win without that time ad. And we start courtyard in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We're stepping in as queen here, keeping the AI control on. And if you're Alexare, you've got to feel good about taking that one game and salvaging your match. And we're stepping in here to take our first flirt. Close, 34%. So far, 30 seconds in, this is a by-the-books courtyard game.
Yeah, Alexare really happy to get that point there. You're really only behind by 2 right now, which means Quicklime has only, gone ahead just by 2 points. That means broken serve, just once. So you're not really behind by that much, but you do need to be able to get 2 wins on one venue, and Courtyard is just not really your best bet for that. It's hard to win as a spy here. Ballroom coming up, which is Alexare's second pick, and somewhere they're comfortable with, is Alexare's best chance to at least bring things back up to a tie.
Yes, but there was a green purloin that went off while we were discussing that, and it doesn't look like there's any suspicion at all.
No, the highlight is really just for statues.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we still need one more statue, but if that purloin was as free as it appears from the sniper movement, we're in great shape now. All we just need to do is the soft tells, and we're good. We can even go back to the same statue to allay some suspicion.
I mean, we only got 1 inspect, so going back a second time, if the sniper doesn't remember that you only have the chance to get 1 inspect, it can be sort of a way to lower suspicion, because, why are you going to statues a second time if you don't have to? But without any suspicion for the purloin, we should be able to get away with this. We are going to need a good banana bread, though. A minute and a half left. You're probably going to get the opportunity. But that's really the only way Alexare can lose this, if they don't get a good banana bread and have to chase the double agent around.
And it looks like we're finally getting purloin lowlights off, unless these are maybe just inactivity lowlights.
Maybe. You do have to take more risks. If you have not seen who did the purloin, someone is going to finish. And so if there is anyone who you just don't think is the spy, now's the time to take some risky behavioral lowlights, because you might just be losing anyway. It's better than nothing. Wow, we're really...
Looks like the sniper camera...
Yeah, we were just really far from the seduction target entering that conversation circle, and they left. And we're going for statues again now. Sure, but we're going to end up chasing Rocker around, and then we're going to end up having to chase the double agent as well, maybe. They're in the same conversation. Can we get there in time? A swap instead! That's how you throw out a game where you won with Purloin, but it's not even being looked at. But we are going to have time. Keep rotating, Quicklime. Keep rotating! One of your highlights was just at statues, and you're not even looking at it!
And the seduction target comes right next to us.
Now, see it, see it! Oh no! I don't even know if Alexare should have gotten away with that swap, but they did.
Wow, he just stole that game completely out of nowhere.
Well, there's the spy win that Alexare needed to make their comeback. Now they just need to win one as sniper to tie things up before going into ballroom, and that shouldn't be too hard, but I don't want to jinx it after what just happened there.
Yeah, wow, that was a heck of a way to finish.
Quicklime was just not rotating to look at that statue, and that's just a mistake that you can't afford to make on Courtyard. And I thought Alexare was throwing it away after getting away with such a good purloin. But
well, Courtyard is one of those venues where, as everyone is very familiar with it, you kind of get used to the timing, and you don't really just expect to see a swap happening right there with about a minute left to play.
No, but there was time to see it at the end. Either way, we are starting Quicklime's turn as spy in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So we're starting off as Taft here, and we're going to step back into statues. Oh, that was a very weird path into statues, but the other side. So we're going to pick up Seduce, and we'll pick up at least 1 Inspect, but we'll eat a highlight like 4.
Yeah, are we going to get the second Inspect? Tex put it down. Do we have time? Looks like we did. That's pretty good. You might not be credited for both inspects there, but probably Alexare is going to err on the safe side and just assume Taft could be done with inspects.
Yep, so now we'll go with our double agent, and looks like we're just going to take the banana bread. There's a lot of people moving around right now, though.
Yeah, and unfortunately that other one really only has 2 people with real. I think there's only 5 people in this party who could have real BB. That other big conversation just doesn't have an SDA, unfortunately. So it's going to be pretty easy for Alexare to remember that Taft, who is already high lit, was one of the people with real BB.
Yep. And now we come to the courtyard conundrum. We have double, or we've contacted. We still need to finish our flirt, and we still need to find a hardtail somewhere.
Yeah, it would be a good idea to go make more flirt progress right now. Just wait and see where Tex goes and join him. Because with 2 minutes left, you do want to be getting that second flirt in. There's the Amba. Are we going to take a bug path? We're thinking about it. Maybe we want the briefcase instead, but that Amba's not leaving, so we can't go for it. Oh, now we can. And that's probably what Quicklime wants to do. Salmon's going to beat us to it, though.
But that briefcase was actually just returned already by a double agent, so I'm not sure if it has a smudge print or if nothing.
And the ambassador is all alone now. It's not a good time to bug them. This is not where our seduction target is. Is he going to join us, or is he going to go back to statues? Ugh. You know what? You could join him at statues, though. There's really no harm in doing a second visit on courtyard. I don't think most snipers will read too much into it.
The only potential harm is that we're down to 1 minute, and a statue visit eats up a lot of time.
Yeah, Quicklime was shaking the camera, basically, you know, annoyed they haven't been able to flirt, but they have had opportunities. You could have gone to the statue there. Instead, we're taking a drink. That's going to make it really hard to finish missions, and it makes me think that Quicklime is committing to not finishing, but I don't know how good of a strategy that is on courtyard. The sniper's not going to shoot if they haven't seen anyone do a hardtail or get 2 fingerprints.
No, and honestly, if it's me in that situation, I might just take the panic purloin and hope everything works out.
Yeah, this is a situation sort of similar to what we saw in Gallery when I believe it was Quicklime who didn't do a timeout and tried to finish with the microfilm. It's sort of the same thing. I'm noticing that when Quicklime gets to the end of a game and just has no time to finish, they seem very reluctant to timeout, but that's exactly what Quicklime needed to do. Fake banana bread? I mean, everyone's in conversation now. It could induce a shot, but Alexare just doesn't think they've seen anyone do a hardtail, and Alexare is correct.
Wow, so Alexare steals both games on courtyard to bring it back to even.
That's exactly what they needed, and now we're going into Ballroom, which is one of the most balanced venues in the entirety of SCL. 50-50 split between Spy and Sniper wins. Quicklime not very happy to have lost their lead here. Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So we're back as Seek again. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time we've played Seek in this set. And if you might recall, we were talking before the game started that Quicklime has a lot of trouble finishing. We were wondering if we were going to see that come into effect on these bigger maps, and so far it really, really has.
Yeah, Quicklime is going to have to make progress on Ballroom if they want to finish as Spy. And Ballroom is a map where it's easier to make a lot of progress really quickly. Things aren't very spaced out. But we're in Alexare's Spy game right now, so we'll get to that. We'll get to that soon. Alexare's in a really good spot for this briefcase. Is it too close to the Ambassador? Who knows? Alexare decided, yes it is. I don't have to pick that up. Ooh, and Alexare noticed that the conversations are all full. Perfect time for a banana bread. I would take it immediately, to be honest. I wouldn't even risk that double agent leaving.
Yep, and we're losing a couple highlights or lowlights because of it, but even so, that's not bad at all.
And that twin gets highlit. I'm not sure why. Maybe they were the only person in conversation with Disney before he left. And we got marked suspicious as well. Very, very interesting play from Quicklime, remembering that Seek was one of the most recent people to join conversation. Ooh.
Yeah,
This is bad. Yep. Quicklime takes the sniper point.
Yep, all over. And Quicklime salvages at least 1 point out of the set after what they may have thought was throwing it all away on courtyard.
Honestly, I think that was really good play from both players. Alexare noticed the great conversations for BB and, you know, sort of abandoned whatever they were planning to do to go for it. And Quicklime was just all over it. And Alexare had no idea how on top of it Quicklime was. If Alexare knew that Quicklime honestly noticed that he was a top suspect for that BB, he would have known not to bring that book back. But I wouldn't have expected Quicklime to have Seek as such a big suspect there. But Quicklime was on top of it, and so the book return was just never going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you into the next game
I
yet?
am. This is the one that decides everything. Starting in 3, 2, 1, play in it.
And Quicklime in the last game goes with Small Man. Stepping into just trying to scope out the party right now. We're going to settle down to our conversation circle right here and just try and see where our seduction target lands most likely.
Yeah, we started with Smallman and we're ending with Smallman, and Smallman has more advantages here. My god, if that conversation in front of the back statues fills up, Smallman can go to the statues and never even be seen.
Absolutely, and we're going to step in here, just got a quick close flirt to start our... we'll take the 34% from the white flirt.
And, people often go for Smallman when they really, really want to make sure they get the win that they need. And, therefore Smallman is more suspicious of a character because spies do like to pick him. But when you're Alexare and you're really nervous and you really need that point here, I don't know how much Alexare is really thinking about the character pick meta, more so than just thinking, I need to hold on, I need to make sure I get this shot. So it could be the perfect time for a Smallman pick to work out in Quicklime's favor.
Yeah, absolutely. We pick up the quick fingerprint very, very fast. Just put it back and move on to the double agent's conversation circle here. And she bails on us, of course. But Quicklime didn't pick Small Man on...
You could still do a fake. The
The
conversations were still really, really full. It could be a good time for a fake, and a civilian could very well get shot. There's literally only one lowlight available if you do a fake banana bread right now.
Well, you have... Yeah, that would have been a very great place for it.
But Quicklime didn't go for it. I think that was a missed opportunity. It's not necessarily going to hurt him, but I would have loved to see it there, to see if Alexare shoots a civilian at some point.
We're counting down. We're halfway through this game, and
oh,
problems as last time.
The double agent returned to us, and now we're taking the banana bread, but it's not as good. Irish, twin at shelves, general walking away.
And there was a cough. I don't think Alexare saw it, but there was a cough.
I thought I heard a cough, but I didn't know why Quicklime would have coughed. It looks like that cough could have been on purpose. You're small men, you don't think you're going to be visible from the sniper's angle, so you cough and make the sniper think that it's someone who was leaving conversation. And a cough can also tilt the sniper, because if they don't see it, they're beating themselves up, thinking, my god, they coughed and I didn't see it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like Alexare is suddenly remembering, oh yeah, the tray.
And we're going in for the center statues here. It is mission completion, but we're just going to need another fingerprint after this, and we're going to have only 30 seconds to get it. We're not being shot right now, so I don't know if we will get shot for another fingerprint, but if we have to chase it really, really obviously, we could get shot.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there is another one available to us right now.
There is. There's the briefcase, but we just entered this conversation. We're leaving it very quickly afterwards. It's very noticeable that we're getting this briefcase. Will Alexare take the shot?
We're going to have about 2 seconds of overtime.
Doesn't look like a shot is happening. Alexare's just not confident enough, even though Smallman did center statues. 2 seconds of overtime. Didn't look like there was even that much, and no reaction. Alexare's not able to take the shot, and Quicklime gets the 2 points on Ballroom to go up 7-5.
A crazy set. We saw a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, that one was really close, and that's exactly what I would have expected from these players. It looks like there was really just a second. Alexare knew they were about to lose and couldn't do anything about it, even with Smallman right there in the middle of the screen.
Yeah, and the narrative of the game that Quicklime was having trouble finishing barely got over that hump in this last game to put it away.
Yeah, and doing center statues is basically, it's a really quick way to finish. Not a safe way, not a very, super subtle well-planned way, but it is a way to finish, and Quicklime knew that that's exactly what they needed to do. So I'm just getting in touch with the players, letting them know that they can join us for a post-game interview. While we wait for any responses on that, we can officially award the winner's medal over to Quicklime. And Quicklime is definitely going to be joining us. Let's head on over to headquarters.
Hey, Quicklime.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Quicklime. How are you feeling?
I am feeling very relieved after giving up a 5-2 lead.
Yeah, the those courtyard games were really, really scary for you. But you were able to get the 2 points you needed on ballroom. Very well played there.
Which I'm exceptionally happy about because normally I'm good for at least 1 point on courtyard, and ballroom's normally a split too. So I thought I was going to be ending on a 6-6 split there after courtyard. So
Yeah, let's dive in and look at some of these games. I'm getting a little bit of, I don't know, what's it called, interference from your side. Like I can hear my own voice or something.
oh, okay. Let me do something then. My bad.
No, it's not a huge problem. Just pointing at it in case there's an easy fix. And then whenever you are ready, we got some pressing questions for you.
Yeah. Okay. This should be better.
Yep, sounds good. So let's take a look at this first high-rise game. A miss shot came off on Duke here. Alexare was smallman, had partial progress. Don't really know if they were going to finish or not. Can you explain to us why you shot Duke?
Ultimately, it was because I kind of just missed a lot on that first one. I wasn't keeping track of statues like I normally do for some strange reason. So once I realized that I had missed at least a couple of statue visits completely, I kind of had to give credit in a lot of places. Ultimately, Smallman was my biggest suspicion, but when the banana bread came off, I guess I just yeah, he was the only one that I thought I had seen go to statues at some point, and I credit him with missing completion. So had to take the shot.
Understandable. Thanks for clarifying that for us. So let's. I feel like you've answered this before, but I'll ask it again in case we have anyone who doesn't know the answer. Why do you like to turn inspect off on high rise?
Primarily just to throw the other person off. The standard loadout for high rise is to turn off swap purloin and uh, microfilm. And that's just kind of the way everybody plays. Everybody's used to playing that. Everybody's got their strategy set for that. So when I leave on the purloin and take off the inspects, that's enough to throw a lot of people off, and tends to work most of the time. And every now and then you'll even get the person who doesn't even notice it, so they're um, keeping track of inspects when they have no reason to.
Yeah, and so you won this game with a really nice difficult print off the drink. I'm just taking a look at how long it was there for. Let's see, the ambassador takes a drink, then it goes over here to the twin who takes, and then you got it. And, we weren't surprised to see that Alexare wasn't necessarily tracking that. And so you were able to get another one from the briefcase and get a very, very clean win. In the third high-rise game, let's see, Alexare was the spy as Kane, did a bug, very, very visible on screen, got shot for it. I'm just,
Here,
yeah?
Here's the sad part for that. I actually, if you can believe it, I was completely blind to the wrong arm bug at the time, but I suspected the cane side bug.
Ha! Yeah,
I I know I know that sounds unbelievable. I was watching that cane so hard that I completely ignored his other arm, and the cane was just so buried in the amba the entire time he was walking through and taking that bug path that I was still convinced enough that I saw a bug, even though technically I did. It was just with the arm that I wasn't paying attention to.
I mean, you would have expected that the left arm would be the one to do the bug, and I think that's what Alexare expected too, but unfortunately it was the right arm, which was the wrong arm, which was very, very much the wrong arm. And we do have Alexare joining us. Hey, Alexare.
Hello.
I'm just going to boost your volume a little bit. And I was just about to ask about the fourth game. This was the really interesting one. I'm just going to go take a look at the timing on this for a moment. So the ambassador is at this left statue at about 240. The ambassador goes away to a shelf, then goes back to the other statue at 210, and then Quicklime. You gave it a little bit of time, and you went there over 40 seconds later, and you went from statue to statue to get 2 prints. So let's hear both sides of this. Quicklime, was this sort of your intention going into High Rise? Did you think that this plan was going to work? Like, what was the risk factor on this play for you?
The risk factor was that he would see me go statue to statue, and that he was paying enough attention to fingerprints after I won the first spy game on fingerprints. So when I saw the ambassador go to statues the first time, I was a little hesitant to go straight forward because Alexare might be paying more attention to that. Then when I saw him go to the second one, I thought I might actually have an opportunity here, because when I go to the first statue, hopefully he won't turn all the way around to highlight me. He'll just highlight me through the divider there, and he won't necessarily be able to tell which statue I'm at. So I might be able to get away with just a couple of quick statue visits with him thinking I only got the one.
And Alexare, what was your reaction to that? I mean, when you saw Quicklime going from printable statue to printable statue, were you very aware that there were 2 prints there?
I just as he suspected after losing on fingerprints the first time, that was mostly what I was paying attention to the second time, and 2 statue visits in a row when I knew I was frustrated with the AMBA for having been all over them. Yeah, that was incredibly suspicious.
Yeah, and we were wondering about the timing of your shot earlier, and it looks like the flirt happens at 46 seconds, the shot at 39. So you took a very perfectly timed shot, assuming that it had been mission completion. It wasn't, because we didn't have the contact, there'd been no purloin and no bug, but did that play into your mind at all? Like, did you think, well, there's been no purloin, there's no contact, the only way Teal is done is if she's bugged?
Yeah, I had watched Till at first when she had a conversation, and I didn't see her talk right away, and so I moved my attention away. But when I moved it back, she was talking again, and I was too worried about that. I couldn't let her.
Makes sense.
So I do have a question that I'd like to ask, more just a clarification. So you didn't shoot me for taking a drink right after the ambassador?
No.
Okay, because I didn't realize I took a fingerprintable drink after that, so I wasn't sure whether I was being flirt paired or whether I was shot for a fingerprintable drink, which apparently it was neither.
I knew you already had 2, so I wasn't concerned about the drink.
Oh, okay.
Huh. And so our first gallery game, Alexare as spy. This one just looked maybe a little bit like pacing issues. You really needed another fingerprint at the end, and you weren't able to get it, and so you tried to do the direct microfilm transfer. Can you let us know what was going through your head, Alexare? When did you realize that you just weren't able to get a second print, and why did you decide on this as your different plan of action?
I'm trying to remember the end of this game.
At the end, you went bookshelf to bookshelf.
I think Right. I just pulled up the replay. I think I did what I usually do on gallery, unfortunately, which is forget that I need to actually do things for most of the match. If it's been a while, I will always time out the first match on gallery. But
Yeah, if you'd been able
Quicklime,
to
we were
get one more
wondering very
fingerprint, it could have worked out. But unfortunately, and you almost got away with it. I mean, Quicklime, your reaction, it wasn't an immediate shot. It looks like you shot Seek only a few seconds later as he was walking away. Were you a little bit slow to catch what just happened?
Much like the first high rise game, I was slow pretty much through that entire thing. I missed the purloin early. I was focusing more on Papa Danger, and with the books outside, there were a couple of people that went straight from bookshelf to outside, so I was suspecting the microfilms out there. Regarding Seek going bookshelf to saw him at the green bookshelf, didn't figure if he was going to do a direct transfer that he would go straight to the next bookshelf. So I kind of left him alone for a second, but then I don't believe I saw him at the bookshelf, but I saw him walking directly away from it. So I heavily leaned on. He was probably direct pointing there. And like I said, I felt lost enough.
Yeah,
I
how
felt it was
much
a good
did
enough
you
reason to take a shot.
suspect the bug path at a minute 30?
Not at all, because I don't remember it. And
You
as
highlighted him for
anybody
it.
who's did I might not have. Look here. I gotta load it back up. It was at 1:30. You said?
Yeah.
Okay. It's taking forever to load here. There we go. 1:30. 1:30. So yes, I highlight him partially because of the bug path, but also because it was very, very close to being 3 at bookshelf. So it was just kind of a combination of a lot of things to be suspicious about. I also highlight Taft at that moment, I believe.
Yeah,
So.
yes, you did. So I guess it was just for what seemed like a lot of people at bookshelves, even though the ambassador just left. When Taft started pathing, or when we started pathing as the spy, there would have been 3 there. And so the next game was your first spy game. You got away with a purloin as well, and unfortunately a civilian got shot. On the third gallery game, Alexare as Seek again. This was one that really confused us, and I have a feeling it confused Alexare too. Let's look at the key moment of this game when Alexare brings the book back to the wrong shelf and bugs the ambassador at the same time, and Quicklime, you zoom in on it. Quicklime, were you zooming in on Toby or were you zooming in on Seek?
I'm trying to find the moment. Tell me the
This is a
time mark
minute
again.
46.
Minute 46. So I know I was paying a decent amount of attention to Toby here. Yeah, I was zoomed in on Toby. I didn't see the bug at all.
And
I
yet,
missed all.
even though you didn't see the bug, you immediately shot Seek on the banana bread. Can you explain why?
I did shoot Seek on the banana bread. Let me see. He ignored Toby. That was why. I felt he ignored Toby.
You thought he ignored Toby. Let's look at when Toby arrives. Toby arrives
I can
at
tell you what
Seek
happened here.
at a minute and 4, so you would ignore if it reached about 56 on the clock without anything. And oh my god, that is exactly what happened.
He ignored. I felt like he ignored Toby, and when the BB came off, I became really suspicious when he didn't like. I don't know. I just felt like a lot more than 5 or 6 seconds had passed.
You're
and then
correct.
I saw him break animation to start speaking again, which I felt was a flirt. And so I felt like he was completely ignoring Toby. He white tested BB, immediately went into flirt thinking I wasn't looking at him, and then shot him before the second BB.
Banana bread.
Oh, right, because there is a second BB coming?
in the end of red.
Wait. So, wait, oh, Alexare, is that you trying to purloin?
Right? No. So I wasn't ignoring Toby, but my fingers didn't let me refuse either of the 2 times that I tried. They both ended up as accidental fake BBs.
Oof.
What a way! What a way to get shot. I
Wow.
wish it were anywhere near as clever as what Quicklime was saying.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I was so surprised that you got shot there because I wasn't noticing the Toby thing, and I thought you got away so cleanly. I mean, this moment is really fantastic at a minute 45. Zooming in on you as you do 2 hard tells, and yet still not being seen. And unfortunately, you lost it just due to Toby and the really, really, really hard scroll menus for action priorities. Quicklime, in the 4th gallery game, you were the spy as Oprah, also known as Hare, and this one was defined by basically a timeout. You got half of a microfilm done really easily, then you were at the shelf, blue shelf, trying to do the other half. You correctly deduced that there was no cover, but you still needed to do the other half of the microfilm, another set of inspects, and you had no flirt progress. I thought you maybe should have done a time ad. Can you let us know what you were thinking during like the whole last minute of this match?
Basically panic mode. Reason I couldn't bring myself to time ad even after I got the green, or not purloin, the green microfilm off. I knew I should have time added. I don't know. I think maybe I thought I had 2 missions done and I'd be able to sneak a quick bug by on the way back to the bookshelf, which I tried to do and failed miserably. Ultimately, on my notes that I wrote here after that, I simply put the words "no plan." So yeah, I was pretty much shooting in the dark there.
It's understandable. Gallery is a really hard map to finish on if you don't get the flirt, and it looked like that seduction target just kept escaping you. And that's something that came up again during Courtyard, I think. But let's look at this first Courtyard game. Alexare as Queen. Let's take a look at this Purloin. It went by so quickly that we missed it the first time. And it looks like Quicklime wasn't expecting an early Purloin either. There's the reject. It is on screen. Let's see how long it takes until the list goes.
I did notice very quickly, and the 3 highlights that I got off of it, were the 2 rejects and General taking the list and then immediately leaving the CC.
So you were aware that Queen had rejected?
Yes, and I had it down to 3. 4 when Duke did something strange. I don't remember what. I thought maybe Duke rejected super early, like 5 seconds into the match or something. But no, ultimately it was down to my 3 highlights.
And yet, and I'm sorry, I have to ask the difficult questions. I mean, it's difficult. It's a difficult question to ask both of you. A swap happens at about 39 seconds, and let's start with you, Alexare. Why did you choose to swap here instead of flirting and, hoping... Well, you needed to flirt either way. Why did you choose to swap instead of hoping for another fingerprint?
It just seemed to be the way of the flow. It felt right at the time is all I can really say.
No, that works. And Quicklime, it was hard to watch. There was no rotation from you. What were you watching at the time that made it so that you didn't rotate to see that statue?
I was watching my 3 suspects. Not small man. I just never. It took me forever to lowlight him. But Queen, General, and Buns, whatever you want to call her, I knew there were the 3 likely to have taken the purloin. They were all on the opposite side of the statues, so pretty much the entire game really had a reason to look. I also did not expect at all that he would go for that second hardtail, go for the swap after he got the purloin away, possibly cleanly, at least in his mind. So the swap was just never a thought in my mind. I knew Queen had inspects, but I didn't think they would go for the swap. or I thought Queen had inspect.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't expect anyone to swap when they've already done a purloin. Understandable. Courtyard 2, Quicklime, you were the spy, and this was a timeout. What do you think happened this game? Why do you think that you weren't able to finish mission progress?
Once again, I'll refer to my post-game notes, which simply state, WTF seduction target, 4 statue visits, really?
Yeah.
I also was first for statue visits and chasing the amber around. I nearly shot him a couple times.
And that was ultimately, I noticed he obviously had statues done. He almost certainly had fingerprints done. I wasn't keeping track of it well enough. But I thought, but you know what? I might not have to do anything here. All I got to do is BB at the right time, and Tex will probably take the bullet for me.
And Alexare, what made you ultimately not take that shot?
I don't remember what it was exactly. I don't know. Tex, while he felt like he was doing things, I guess he was a bit too obvious in doing things. So, I wish I had more to describe my motivations.
Yeah, Tex really was at statues a lot. All right, and so we move on to Ballroom, the final 2 games. How nervous were both of you going into this?
I was a little nervous. Again, I'm normally pretty good at taking 50-50, and at this point, I'll be happy to finish with a tie. So I wasn't incredibly nervous, but I think I was more frustrated than anything at this time that I let it get to this point.
Yeah, and Alexare, I thought that this was one of the most impressive games, well, from both of you, really. I thought this was a very impressive display of spy party skill, even though it ended so quickly. The way I saw it, Alexare, was that you were planning to, do, I don't know, maybe the briefcase, maybe a microfilm, and you noticed that it was such a perfect opportunity for a contact, so you entered conversation and took it. And you got a highlight for it. Quicklime, you were very on top of that. What made you so suspicious of Seek?
Once again, I was much like in Gallery. I was suspecting him for the microfilm transfer. I got the few low lights that I could, and I just tried to focus on low lighting some double agent conversations, and I was pretty confident Seek was in a conversation with the double agent, even though I think the double agent had left by the time I got the highlight off. And I actually, he left almost instantly. Damn.
So I guess it was just really good intuition on your part. And just wondering, Alexare, you chose Seek for I think both Gallery games and Ballroom. Is this just random, or is this your favorite character?
I honestly hadn't noticed that I'd played the same character more than once. It's just random.
All right. And then the final Ballroom game. This is what everything came down to. Quicklime finally caught up on that mission progress. You were even going for fingerprints. This time you got one, and then you got the last one right when you needed it after center statue inspects. Alexare, the question is for you. How big of a suspect was Smallman, and what were you thinking, in the last 10 seconds of that game?
Smallman was up there. I felt like Smallman was the one most likely to get away with coughing and me not seeing who it was. But I think someone walked up next to the AMBA. One of the other suspects walked up next to the AMBA right at the end, and I was worried about a last-minute bug, and so I was not paying as much attention to Smallman as I should have been.
Yeah, there's the cough. We're looking at it on screen right now. There's almost really no way to see it from your angle. The arm is just for a split second. And right at the end, the ambassador was in a very, very dangerous position. Tex, oh god, Tex looked like he was bugging. And then Salmon walks by, and the ambassador is just not safe. So yes, it's very understandable that you weren't watching Smallman at the time. Do either of you have anything else you would like to add about that set? Anything you think we might have missed?
No, you hit all my notes pretty much.
All right, well, congratulations again on a very well played set and a very, very close set. It was a great job, Alexare, bringing it back on courtyard there, and just great intuition from Quicklime by the end of it, just being really aware of Alexare's seeming tendency to do microfilms and or pick seek. And so you were just all on top of it on Ballroom, and it looks like you sort of realized that you were having problems finishing missions earlier on in the set, and you did exactly what you needed to do to make sure you got done in time on Ballroom. Thank you for letting us cast you. Thank you for joining us for this interview.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you.
Thank you as well to Sped Monkey for casting tonight.
My pleasure.
And thank you to everyone for watching. We have coming up on Wednesday morning, we have Rio versus Turnip Boy. This is the match to determine who makes it into the tournament of position from bronze. It's a very exciting one between two exceptional players. And we'll see what else we have coming up during the week. So have a good night, everyone.